We're switching it up just a little bit. We're going to go into some 3-rail stuff right now. O scale, first time ever. We got an MTH, Mike's Train House. It's got the rail sounds. It's got the fancy electronic coupling, and it's got all kinds of features. And the only thing that it don't do is run. It's got some issue with it. But we got like 15 feet of cars, 8 huge passenger cars to go with this thing. We're gonna get this whole set up and running. We are building a layout outside just to run it on, just to see the whole thing stretched out. Let's get into it. Show me, Dave, what is this? Show me what this thing's doing. I'm not familiar with these big fancy sound locomotives. Well, that just said it didn't do anything.
Well, I guess it does something.
What the hell? Oh.
Yeah, that's a direction switch.
Oh. Oh, that's the couplers uncoupling. I just read about that in the instruction manual I turned down.
So every time you do that, you'll get another clink, 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 and there's a sequence to set those.
Oh, yeah, it's got an intermittent open. It's got some sort of a wiring, because we're at, what, almost full volts on it.
I call her Sparky.
Yeah, I guess.
You're making a mixtape.
Jesus. Is it going to do anything?
This is an inner city Amtrak.
Good Lord. Well, I guess we'll tear into it and see what we got to do.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Have at it.
Okay. Boy, you get a closer look at this thing. It looks like it has something caustic put on the body. Here the paint is pulled off right there. Some of the cars have those issues also. Holy moly. To get this body off, I'm going to say those 2 screws there. And I guess the first time I've ever done it. So we'll just start taking it apart, I guess. This screw right there. This screw right there. Sure. Oh my goodness gracious. What in Lord's name? It's got a lot going on in there. I certainly didn't expect that. Dang. I can't even get in there. We're going to have to get these shields here out of the way. Goodness. Said it had the computing power of a 286. I'm thinking, whatever. You guys are just talking. But look, I mean, holy moly. Feel more like a computer repairman now. This is some sort of signage of a leak. Like a capacitor, maybe? Ugh, that does not look good. It looks caustic. Pull these out. Oh, it's a battery leak. And it acts like as soon as it has an amp load, look at that, it's even got little flywheels on the motors. Impressive. But as soon as it tries to ask for a lot of juice, then we lose conductivity because everything goes black. This must just be some sort of decorative piece right here. I got to take it off to find out though. Oh, it's a weight. Man, yeah. And that it's got a nice amount of weight to it. There's some battery acid. A lot of battery acid on this thing. I'm hoping that it's not a triax, which I believe to be this guy right here, because it's bolted up to this heat sink. And those usually regulate voltage. Could be these guys, a little loose. Why do we got this terrible wire housekeeping wrapped around everything? Come on, have more pride. So the trucks are picking up red and black. red and black. So this is the main juice power flow. And it goes in under this board. Board is being held on, one screw right there, two screws right there. So we can get that out, root around. All this leaky battery acid is really freaking me out. Bah. Proto sound. That one just broke off of it. That one broke off. And this is going up to here. Like the electrical tape. 8.4 volt. Well, this is just... Oh. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can... It's it. Okay. Yep. A lot of wires. Here, these two speaker output. These three are the potentiometer for the speaker output volume, which I really didn't need to take off. White into white, red into red, black into black, yellow into yellow, blue into blue. Well, we got to get this battery acid stuff out of here. I want to drop this one truck. And looking at this thing, I can see that there's this C-ring right here. And underneath, there's a screw right down there. So I'm guessing if we pop this screw out, it's going to release that C-ring. And then I could pull it out of the way. Yeah, okay, well, that worked too. This is what I was making reference to. The screw was right in there. The truck is out, coming out of the bottom. Yeah, here's the electric uncouplers. There's just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff on this. The speaker. Let's put this in here. I'm starting to get a lot of screws lining up. Let's get the speaker out of the way. And then I'm going to use some baking soda and water. We're going to make a little... That neutralizes battery acid. Is kind of where I was going with this whole thing. Am I going to be able to get this out of here? No, because of the poor way they ran the wires. They ran them through everything. You dirty dogs. We're gonna get all this cleaned up. Oh, it's nice that these look like they're just screwed in. Red is in the center, which makes sense. Hey, it's like somebody tried. I like that. I'm still trying to fish these things down. Looks like it's going to this switch. So you can turn this switch on and off to turn your couplers, coupling and decoupling on and off. So blue one is couplers. Interesting. I'm digging it. Any raw black wire is going to be wire tied together. Any raw red wire is going to be wire nutted together. I say this to myself more than anything. Oh, there's right there. That's why this thing is not working. Guaranteed. There's corrosion on these copper wires right here, and it is not enough. As soon as the motors try to spin, the amp load goes up, and then bam, it ain't running. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this cleaned up. Probably go ahead and service the trucks because, you know, we want to see what the inside of they look like. We might have to rattle can this because I've lost some paint. It's an 8.4 amp battery. Local Dave brought this over and it doesn't have any specifications on what it is, but it doesn't fit this either. That's a 9 volt. This is going to be 2 AA's basically. I might have to try to find a NiCad rechargeable battery to put in there. I could solder these, get one of these and fix this for our battery problem. AA NiCad, yeah. So this will be 3 volts. That ain't gonna be the same as this. No. We got somewhat of a plan. After pulling this screw out right here, I was able to get this cover off, this front plow, I guess it is. And there's just two little areas where these wires are soldered on. Since they're going through the frame, makes it a little hard to just work on these trucks. I desoldered one of the motor wires, well, both of them off of one, so I can get this untangled from the mess that was tangled up in this. So now we're down to more of a component level here for things. So I think I'm just probably going to take these out as well, just to make this easier to work on. Do you have to? No. No. This is just an electromagnet or a coil inside here. So the polarity on these things is not important. So now we've got this truck completely out of the way. And I'm going to assume that they're the exact same front and back, because it's always good to assume stuff. I got to make sure to put the wires down through there when we go to put it back together. I've got a lot of screws that are out and about now, so I'm just starting to put them back in where I took them out at, just as a better way to maintain it, to manage the amount of stuff I got going on. Can you believe it? Automatic uncoupling. Boggles my mind. Wow. So there's that harness right there. Now we can get on to taking care of that. A little bit of warm water. A little bit of baking soda. Oop, that's almost too much. We've also got some in here. That battery, man, it really leaked. Somebody put this up in the garage somewhere and it just sat and sat and sat and sat. It's unfortunate. So it's really on there too. Guess we'll scrape all this off just so it's just one more better. One more. That's all we want. Getting into this truck now. Looks like there's just a jack shaft that comes right down through here. This is driving off the worm gear, and then it's got gears on the side. But we will get into it because we can. Okay, so these, just the side frames. Yeah, that's going to be the pickup. But I really wanted to get into this area here. Interesting how this coupler does what it does. Oh, there's the jack shaft. You can see it right there. I was hoping that we could take the top plate just completely off. What happens here? Okay, that came out insulated. Sure. Yeah, I can see that. That's what this screws into up here. The ground screws holding that in. Insulated stuff. Here's where our power pickup comes up from right there. This screw here was just holding on the front truck, this thing. And we take out 2 more screws. We're still not going to be anywhere. Another side plate so we can wash these. They're a little scubby. Ugh. So this is what we got right here. And there is grease all over in here. And then there's no oil out here on these where like you'd think a guy would really want them. Traction tires, still doing their things. So it's a pretty simple, pull this Jesus clip off right here. You could take this assembly off if it was so desired. I don't desire. So we're going to mineral spirits and Q-tips. We're going to clean all this stuff out as best we can. Get this whooped into shape, re-grease it. We've got the truck all cleaned out. And it's got that really dry sound to it right now. And I was looking around hoping there might be some sort of hole that you could oil these axles at and these bushings. No, they didn't. So I guess I'm the only one that ever thinks of that and nobody else does. So we need to get a little oil on the axle bushings. And they don't give you much space to do that. Get it in there, get it in over here. Goodness. This jack shaft right under here, and I oil it, and I want, with the surface going down, because I want the light oil to try to flow into where we can't get to it. There, see now how it's got a different sound? That's just the sound of the gears meshing. Now, do we want to oil the gears or grease? I don't know. Because they're out in the open and you grease them and then they would have a tendency to collect dirt and grime and stuff like that. Oiling wouldn't be quite as bad. These shafts in here need some oil on them. Sure wish they had a way to oil them damn things. Why can't you just put a... Okay. This little feller here could use a little taste of the since it pivots. Little taste on the knuckle. I'm guessing that's about as good as we're going to get it. Little of the super lube. We're going to put this on the brass gear here. Not too much. You don't have to put it on the sides because it ain't lubricating nothing when it's on the sides. Put these side covers back on. That's about it. We can't put this on until we get the wires soldered up to that. And it's got to be in the chassis for that. And this is the rear because of the way that this looks. It's not the pilot. And I'm guessing that this is the rear right here. So step by step by step. We'll get this all put together and then we'll service up the other truck. Just like this one. We got to put together our insulating action. This little feller here, he drops down from the top. And then this is going to sit in here like this. And we know that we're going to put a ground wire on this one before we even screw her in. Yeah. This fella's going to go in like this. Here. Screw's going to come in from the bottom like this. So we'll hold him. I'll fumble it a few times. Just a little extra snug with a man-sized screwdriver. Touch of oil here and here for this. And we want just a little oil for this roller. This inside screw here, we're going to put the red wire on it. And that is our truck with the pickups all assembled and all lubed up, ready to go back into service. So we got our truck serviced here. I've partially assembled this chassis back together again just because I didn't need all the wires to be flapping in the wind. Right here is our uncoupler harness, I guess we'll call it. And it plugs in right here to go forward, to go back, plus this switch. So install that so we don't got to trip over all this stuff. I guess these arrows right here tell you which coupler it's going to operate, front or back. If I recall right, these went down through there because this is going to come up through there, and this will be sitting like that. Did I just pull that out? I sure did. Then we got to solder those little delights, one on each side. Looks like this engine's had a lot of time on it. There's some definite cupping going on that gear. Wow. Got our motors that hold our trucks in. Now I kind of see why the wires were all everywhere. There's a lot of wires just to mess around with in here. Good Lord. Oops. Now I got to take that off because I forgot to put the front plow on this part right here. Oh, and I bet you I'm supposed to saw it. Yep. Dang it. These wires got to drop down through here first. It's okay. I'll practice on the first one. The second one even better. But you see what we got to do. We got to solder that, put those in. I got the other truck on, and then we'll continue to move forward on our reassembly here. Got our trucks on the chassis. Our connectors are up underneath here for this power for these motors. And they only go in one way. So we'll get those, bring them in, plug them in, yellow to yellow. Over on this side, see we got the white to white. Come on now. Sure. Got our speaker here. We're going to throw him on. I thought it might be in the way of putting it on when the trucks were not on. And it kind of looks like I should have put it in when the trucks weren't on. That's okay. We got the tools. We can make it better. I'm not used to working on something quite so heavy. This thing is just a beast. Give them a good snuggin'. Speaker power up to over here, like so skis. Got our headlight assembly with a common ground. Somehow my screwdriver got magnetized just the tiniest little bit. And it just kind of makes it a nuisance. Sometimes it's nice to have it magnetized. Sometimes it just isn't. Now, we're going to play the game where we take all the black wires and we twist them together, and we take all the red wires and twist them together. But since the red wires look like this, we are going to start all over with brand new, not corroded wires. And these little tiny wires, we're gonna robo zip them like that. Now that wire, it's just ick. Absolute ick. I bet you it won't even take a tin. Nope. Nope, it sure ain't. So now we're gonna put some paste flux on it, and that is going to hopefully clean up the wire and get it to be conductive better. Yes? That wire is filthy. That's why a lot of people have problems soldering, because they're trying to solder dirty wire. This should just be sucking it in super fast right now, and it is absolutely not. Maybe this black wire will show it what I'm expecting it to do. Twist them all. It's coppery, net colored now. And then see how it just absorbs all the, yep, that is a tinned wire. And that's how simple soldering should be when all the conditions are being met. I'm a little afraid that we're gonna have to replace all of these red wires, because they're not gonna conduct. We need clean copper. Well, this here's the plug that goes into the main board up underneath in here. And I had to cut it back this far before I could find good copper wire to solder to. So now I'm gonna extend them all. I got some 18 gauge wire. I've got some small heat shrinks here. But I'm gonna have to solder on to cut these wires back until I find good clean copper, and then add on to them so we can solder them all together to get good continuity. So they corroded up in there and made a mess out of themselves. Real nice. So that's our plan of attack. And this is what we have come up with. Had to stretch every one of them wires. I had to cut them almost to the end because they were all so corroded. The grounds were in really good shape. What we really had a problem with was this one, because both the black, the positive, and the negative was corroded almost all the way up into here. So I had to build this harness, solder the wires directly to it because it was shot. And they said this will last in the directions up to a week to a month. Just enough time for you to order in a new battery. We couldn't find a rechargeable battery at the Walmart. I had to look at my directions to make sure this goes in the right spot. And it does go right up in here. We didn't want to be throwing the juices to it if that's not where it goes. We're just going to tuck him in under here until I can get that new battery ordered in. But with all of this done, I do believe that this thing is going to run on the track. So now it's time to give her a test. See what's going to happen. We'll get this thing plugged in. Okay, give her about 3/4 throttle to bring it up to life. That's good, yes. Throttle it off, back on. Well, yeah. Neutral. Huh. Yeah. What a hassle. Direction button. Now we got nothing. We did have something. Now we got nothing. Something still acts kind of loose. Oh my God. All right. I guess we're gonna have to read the 27 or the 40-page instruction manual on how to make it go. Because whatever I'm doing, I am not doing it right. Well, it'll appear that I figured this out. We're using just a standard analog This is just an old school, just a little bit newer, but nothing fancy about it. And you gotta get her up above 8 volts to wake up the thing. And then it does this. And then simply by depressing the direction button, I can make it move. So it starts off in neutral or a reset mode right now. First time I hit the direction button, just like you'd expect. Second time, neutral. Nail it again. Hit it again, neutral. And of course I can, bring our voltage down something so you've got a more realistic takeoff speed. This is 5.3 volts. Then we gotta give her a little more juice. We can slam it. We can not slam it. Interesting. Sure. Yeah. So we're going to order in a new battery. So watch, I'll turn the voltage all the way off. And that battery's running those sounds right now. It's got its own built-in keep alive. And then you just heard the thing go drrr. Oh, powered off. Yep. Put a little short protection on that right there. Put that body on, we can test this whole thing out on a big track. We need some place to test that Amtrak out. I want to put all those cars together. Guys keep saying, hey, I'm tired of watching your O-scale stuff go back and forth on that 4-foot test track of yours. So I decided to do something about it. And we built this beauty thing right over here. 6 trips to the Walmart to keep buying tables because you think that a couple 8-foot tables would be enough, and then it's like, absolutely not. It's not. So now we got ourselves a 15-foot by 8-foot oval in O gauge. The tall stuff. This stuff right here. And I got those 72-inch radiuses. And so, yeah, this is gonna work really well. Really well. What the downside is the track, it's rusty. Local Dave really come through because he's got just an absolute ton of O-gauge stuff, if you guys have seen that video. And he's collecting it all the time. And he's donating stuff to me all the time. All the time he's keeping me going. So I ran out of the track that I had. So I was bright and early up at his house, banging on the door at 7:30 in the morning. And he hooked me up with just a whole bunch more O-gauge track that he just had laying around in a box. He didn't even hardly know that he that he had it. These pieces right here are the Menards track, the 30-inch long ones. But seeing as how that thing is Lionel's version or Mike's Train's House version of DCC, this track has got to be as clean as humanly possible. It's rusty and the pins are rusted, and so I'm going to warm up the old and we're going to clean it. And if that don't work very well, then I'm going to use some of the vinegar and clean it and try to make this track look brand new. And then I don't know what, maybe I'll spray the pins with some WD-40 to keep the rust down. It's going to be 105 degrees up here in Montana today, which is odd for Montana. So I know it ain't going to rain in the next couple weeks. I just hope the wind don't come up because I kind of want to keep building on this thing over here. It's not going to take long to warm this up, and I'll show you the track before and after, see if it's doing a good job cleaning it up. We got 18 pieces of the track in here. This is the ick that's on it. Rusted. That's why you buy the biggest one you can. So that way you can put the most amount of stuff in it. Now, looks like I need a little more because it ain't completely submerged in there. Leave it to me. Simple green is what's inside here, and water, 50-50. This is just a winter white vinegar. So we're gonna fill this up, let it get up to temperature, about 105, 110 degrees, and give her 10 minutes. The results are less than satisfying. It's still got the rust a little bit. I mean, they're clean, but they're still also kind of dirty, kind of rusty. And I'm looking for 100%. So I found myself a clean, brand new jug of vinegar. So I'm going to pre-soak these in the vinegar. And we're going to use brand new clean stuff so that way we can see how much rust is coming off. And then we'll put it in the ultrasonic to neutralize the acid and see if this works better. That's what I'm hoping for. But more, better. Well, it's only been about 45 minutes. There's not a lot of funk going on. I don't want to leave it too long because it might pull this galvanizing off. I think we'll take these and stack them and put them in the ultrasonic. The rust is definitely soft now because I can kind of rub on it with my finger and it'll go away. So let's ultrasonic them and see what happens. I mean, they are looking nicer, that's for sure. Here's what the track looks like now. Vinegared for 45 minutes, ultrasonic cleaned for 5. And I think that we've definitely got something here. The pins are nice and clean. Maybe I'll take one of those green scrubbies after the track when it's all put together and just give it a little something. But yep, we're definitely making progress here. Sure, this is about right. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Finally got all the track cleaned. It's put back together. We've got these clips right here in between all of them so it won't fall apart. Now we gotta wait for the night shift so we can put stuff on here without it melting because it's gonna get a lot hotter. So let's take ourselves a little tour of this right here. I got one of these that I picked up off the E of Bay, and it's got the walk around controller, which is nice because you can, walk around. Here we got a voltmeter set up so I can know how much volts we're putting out. 9 volts to start it. So to sit here and idle along. I hit the direction button. And we keep having those kind of problems right there. It's done this to me last night. Right there. That coupler is bottomed out on that track and shorting. And I can't I've been fighting that too quite a bit. Rotten. I put tape on the bottom. Right there to try to prevent that, but man, oh man, it doesn't seem to care. Even on couples of dang cars. Get the direction. Away we go. Give her a little juice to get up the incline. Moving out now. 12 volts. Sure. This is going up the incline still. And then it's all downhill from here. Wow. Got the bell sound effects. Oh, you rotten bugger. Oh no, stop. I'm about ready just to glue these cars together. That one, it opened up. Huh, I don't know why it's doing that. There's been a lot of problems with this thing. So now I went ahead and I wired that coupler shut so that it can't open. This thing just keeps popping open on me all the time. And it's really kind of harsh in my gig. We haven't had 2 trips around this track successful in a day and a half. Let's try her again. Get her up to 10. Let's see if it'll just make it a couple times. Sure. Well, that's 3. So I'm quite happy now. Now this here's the set that would come with it. It's a 4-car set with the locomotive. And then these ones over here, they're sold as a 2-pack. The sleeping car and then the dining car. And this set's got 2 of them, 2 extras of these. But I had to steal the coupler off of one because one of these was missing both of its couplers. So now we've only got really a total of 7 that we could ever make up. But let me build this thing up into a 7-car consist and see if this little feller can pull it. Last night it sort of did, and then the traction tires are so shot that it pulled them right off. They were flopping around, and I took a little bit of CA, and I glued them on just for this test run. So we need to get new traction tires for it and a nightcap battery for it. Let me get those other cars on and see if the couplers will hold and see if we can pull all 7 of these. We double taped all them uncoupling buttons, so maybe now they can get around the track. Well, this is test run number 757. Some of the cars, I didn't wire the couplers together, so we still got an opportunity for failure. So far, so good. Yup. Okay. So more wiring the couplers together. Test run number 748. All the couplers are now wired together. She didn't have any momentum going. She didn't like that hill. Shoot. There's a chance that I got it. Glad those radiuses are big, so it doesn't fly off the track. Running a little over 14 volts. Sure. Now I can get that shot that I've been wanting to get. Yeah, I get that shot, and then it just stopped. Must have had a short out somewhere. Doesn't have one currently. Oh, yep. So the tape is wore through, and now it's dragging on the track and shorting out. And this fancy stuff like this, no. I have had absolutely nothing but problems with it. Now, granted, yeah, it's going to be the track because it's not completely level where I'm sitting at. I suppose if it was level and your tolerances were right on, this probably wouldn't be an issue. But if this was an old analog, that thing would just keep going and going and going and going. You know what though? I gotta wait and I gotta get a night shot. It's gonna be 105 out here again today. So we gotta kind of pack stuff away so it don't melt. And come back out in the evening and set it back up and see if we can get a cool shot with the lights on and having it run by. Maybe not, who knows? It's Mike's train house stuff. Oh, it's fancy, but whew, what is it, a whole nother trade that's being learned here. Just keep making the thing run around in a circle. Give me some analog stuff. It's like that one shot. You know how you get those shots? You gotta take your camera and turn it to 60 frames a second. And then when you play it back, you play it at half speed, 50% speed. That one's actually coming at you at 40%. And that gives it that look where it looks cool. So it's the superhero walk. Like here's normal frame rate walk. And here's a superhero walk. So that's how you do it. Twice the 60 frames a second, play it back at half speed. I think that table was probably causing me the most amount of problems because of the way that it was. It looked good on paper. It sure did. Now this train set, this locomotive here, it belongs to Dave, local Dave. And we've been wanting to sell it. We wanted to sell it when we had the bus sale. And I wanted to fix it though. So I finally got around to fixing it. But now we got it for sale. So what does a guy do? I thought about maybe I would put it on my Facebook page, Classic Model Trains, or Facebook/Classic Model Trains. It's a fan page. You can go there and hang out. And if you want to buy it, put down your bid. Say, hey, I'll give you, we're going to start out at $300. I think it's at least $300. The whole thing, it's a good runner. We're going to get the battery for it. We're going to get new traction tires for it. It'll be all fixed up. I'll get 2 couplers for the one car that's missing and get those on, so it's going to be functional. It's just got a little bit of cosmetic blemish on it. And we're going to wait like a week. This video is going to be out on July 26th. So let's run it for a week and say on August 2nd. We'll whoever's got the highest bid out there, I'll give you, I'll message you, give you my email address, email me, call me, we'll talk, credit card over the phone, package it up, ship it out. We've shipped a lot of stuff out of here, especially this last spring. I bet you we sold 80 to 100 packages shot out the door. Never once did I have a single damaged freight because I know how to pack stuff. Yeah. We'll give that a shot and see if we can do that. Dave's going to donate half of the proceeds of the sale to the channel because he bought it and he's got a little bit of money into it and he's got to buy the repair parts because it's his. But if we make 400, he's going to donate 200 to the channel. We make 500, you know how it goes. So some way to support the channel, Dave supporting the channel, other people supporting the channel, keeps us bringing all this killer stuff in. Well, you know how you get those reports from the weather app that says a big storm's coming in? Well, yeah, I got one of those and it looked bad. I looked to the west and yep, it looked bad. So we had to strike the layout. It's all gone now. And I had to do that super fast and there's no way I'm going to be able to get it put back together for a night shot. So all the 33%ers, we've made it to the end of the video. This weekend, local Dave's coming by with a big boy. We'll get that set up and maybe I'll make just a quick little video of us running some stuff this Saturday and Sunday. It'll be out mid next week or something like that. So thank you guys all so much for watching the video with me. I'm going to sit down and finish editing it up and get her launched again for another Friday. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.